is what it looks like waking up from the astral. Soldier boy up in it, alright, I'm in a ramen, So I just came back from the astral and I wanted to tell y'all about it real fast. So my one soul family is making a school in the astral for different people on Earth to go to and different hybrids to come there as well. So it's a mix of ETs, especially the staff there. The staff there are all ETs. And then the students there are either from Earth or they're hybrids going to the school. It's amazing. It was so beautiful. Some of y'all that don't know Astral School fully, you're going there to learn. And if you are actually going to Astral School and you're like a student there, you're in the class and you're actually learning and you take it with you in the physical. So whether you're learning how to do stuff in the astral or you're learning you're learning a certain universal aspect, whatever it is, you can learn anything. Let's say it like this. Astral School can help you with anything you want and like it to help you with. So for me, it was like mission work and spotting low vibrational beings and using certain powers. For you, it may be learn how to manipulate energy at your will, how to use a certain type of flame, how to manifest better. Maybe it's how to create tulpas more, or learning certain cultures of certain beings and then able to then use that in the astral and the physical. Whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to get a skill in, Astral School is there for you. And the more you do it, just the more you get more advanced and more wise. So I definitely recommend it, and it will be something you'll never regret. Usually when you go to Astral School, if you're a student, then you also have like a dorm, which you could sometimes perceive as your own house, or maybe you have an astral house and you perceive it as that. No matter what, you have a living space. You have classes you go to, set of classes you go to, and you also have like friends and staff, which are usually ETs. And my soul family created this whole school. It was so beautiful. And I took my mom and we got to like explore it. And then we also made different stops elsewhere in the galaxy. So it was really fun. While I was there, I essentially was practicing with an ability I haven't used since I was little in the astral realm. This ability was to fly. And you guys may think that that's something like easy, like you could just like easily do that, right? But it's actually a little harder than you think. Like so many times when you jump into the astral realm and then you try to do things that you think are easy, it's actually harder. Like to fly is like a little harder than you think. So you may have a guide or a being that comes in and tries to teach you how to do it. But what's weird is going to the school triggered this understanding of this ability I had in the astral for a long time. But I didn't even know it was like that. It just like reawakened. We stop at the school and then we go out and then we go back and then we're ready to go to where we're going to next. And all of a sudden it was like after the school, I started flying around my house. But it felt like more like a balloon fly, like you're a balloon. Like it's like gracious, but it felt too familiar. I was like, I've done this before. It was weird because I just started flying around, but there's a certain energy you have to tap into in order to do it. So it's weird. I was studying it because I was like, when I go back to the physical, I want to be able to like understand it, like be able to explain it. It feels like you're a balloon, but the energy is like you're tapping into gravity and the universal energy around you. So the feeling is like you're triggering it happening through feeling. If you want to be a dragon, you trigger it through feeling. You want to go to the Akashic, you straight go into the Akashic through feeling. You want to fly, you trigger it through feeling. Core aspect of magic, right? Quote unquote magic comes from feeling. It comes from emotion. It comes from the energy within you. And you hear this in all these magic movies, and you hear it from people who actually operate within the universal energy, and maybe they're a mage or a wizard or something like that. They always tell you about feeling and energy and using that energy within you, and emotion is linked to it. I needed to tell you that aspect because that is something that is taught in Astral Schools all the time. And while I was coming to this ability again, I was noticing that, which is the core aspect of what we teach in school. So my homie was teaching this within some classes, but this is also what I teach in my classes. So I was experimenting with this flying ability, and I was reattaining it through the memory of what I teach and what we teach. And I was just flying around graciously, and I could like spin and land somewhere. I'm like, I've done this before. Like, this feels too familiar. Like, I've done this so many times. And I remembered I used to do it when I was younger. So I would literally just go to the astral realm and fly around. I would do that a lot, but I never thought it was the astral. I just thought, oh, I just fly around and stuff like that. The feeling, it was like I've done this so many times before. Because when I went back into the school, and then people were asking how I do it, and I was trying to explain it to them. But it was almost like I needed to have my own class on how to do it in the astral realm. So astral travelers come here, hybrid ETs come here to learn. And they wanted to learn from me as to how to fly. And I was trying to explain it, but I was like, okay, this is something that I need to come back another time and teach. So it was like I was dipping my toe into going to my homie school and teaching. But overall, I was seeing in different areas where I could be of service. I know they want me to go there for some other stuff later, for example, like shadow hunting. But this flying thing, it triggered that memory of me doing it all the time when I was younger. But I just wanted to say that because you always attain new abilities in the astral realm and in the physical realm. And you always are learning or reattaining things that maybe you lost. And this is just a reality, bro. It's just a reality, man. I find it very interesting. And if any of you want to go to astral schools, just tell your spirit guide you want to do that. Because it gets to a point as well where you go to astral school so much and you graduate. Like, there's actually a curriculum for whatever you're trying to learn. And you could go to school anytime you want to relearn or to learn something. But then it gets to the point where you go back to astral school and you don't have to. Maybe you're not fully aware of the astral and you're just dreaming of going to school. And you're in school for a while. Or you're in like a dorm room and you're meeting people and you're learning stuff in class and you bring it back with you to the physical. And it could be stuff like learning about different ETs, learning about the quantum realm or something like that. Like, overall, you are learning. And it's cool. So if you notice you're just having dreams like that of school and going to school and learning or something like that, and you're like, I don't know what this is all about, but I said I want to go to Astral School, that's it right there. My homie school, one of the teachers I met, which is really cool, one of them was red skin, looked almost like a Martian, and the other one looked like an octopus. Really cool. When I used to go to Astral School a lot, and I was like in the grade system, you could say, one of my favorite teachers was a Nordic. I love you guys know I'm really connected to the Nordics. So one of them was a Nordic. Then another one was a darker skin. She looked like Anunnaki. And then another one was like a Birdman. Those are the three I remember. But the staff at my homie's school, I love being friends with. Because anytime, like months ago, I tried going to Astral School again. I was like, oh, I'm going to hit up Astral School. But it was like I graduated already. I was just there, just kind of like walking around. So I was like, oh, I know I graduated. And then some of the ETs were like, yeah, you graduated a long time. Like, you're just here because there's going to be something within Astral Schools you do. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And now I see it. It's time to go actually start teaching there. So I want to say that I went to Astral School for about 3 to 4 years. And anytime I try and go now, it's like I graduated. Like, I even remember having a graduation ceremony. Like, there was a celebration, but then there was also this energy of like, this is just the start. So I'll bear you the details of what actually happened, but it was a graduation ceremony. People from the galaxy and people from Earth that I knew were there, even people from that are soul family or that are within the server, which I see as soul family, were there. And some of them remember, some of them don't, but it was just like a whole celebration. But now whenever I try and go, it's like I'm taking a leap year, we call it. It's like you're there, but you're not there to learn like everybody else. You basically done all the learning you're supposed to, where you're doing an extra grade. That's not necessary, but you're willing to do. I'll say that this year was like a leap year in Astral School. Because it was like I wasn't going into in-depth classes like everybody else, but I was taking some classes for mission work. Like, I wanted to do a certain type of mission, or I was getting ready for a certain type of assignment in the physical, and I was doing Astral School to get myself ready. So I was learning all these in-depth social lessons and intrapersonal lessons that helped me do the assignments I'm doing now. So they would prepare me. They'd be like, this is my team. They'd be like, okay, you need to go here for a leap year. And every time I go there, I'd feel like I'm doing a leap year, like in real life. Like I'm there. I'm not in the school system, but I'm not out the school system. I'm there to just learn some extra tip stuff and then go on. Astral School for me at the beginning looked a lot like going to this place, which looked like a school, and a whole bunch of different beings walking around. A lot of them looked very human, and I would go to these classes, and I'd be in the school for like 3 to 4 days astral time. So it feel like you're there for 3 or 4 days, but really you're only sleeping for like 7 hours, right? You're only in the astral for like 7 hours on Earth time. So time goes by a lot quicker when you are off planet, I noticed. And so I remember the first few classes, the most powerful ones I remember, one, for example, was how to spot a reptilian or a cloaked low vibrational being while you are on a mission. And we were in it, looked like a science class. It looked like almost like a lab. And the one teacher, she looked very human, but she was a Pleiadian, had a little bit of peach skin, and her ears were a little bit more pointed. And she said, I am going to bring in a reptilian, and you guys need to be able to spot when this reptilian is trying you or coming at you. So we'd just be walking around. It was a workshop, and we'd be talking to different people. And then from there, you would be able to feel from the teachings, you'd be able to spot them. Pieces of the information were like, feel the vibration. When you feel this certain frequency, you know. Look at the way that they are looking at you when you look into their eyes, and the way they're looking at you, the way they're watching you, the way they're operating around you, especially the frequency. You can feel the frequency of surveillance and planning. Like there's an alternate plan. Like you can, overall, it was just knowing how to feel the frequency and read the situation to understand. And so in that moment, that was almost like a test, and I graduated. And then it was easy for me to start spotting them. You'll notice this in my videos where I'm talking about this reptilian coming, the succubus coming, and then I spot them. Sometimes it slips by, but most of the time I spot them, and it's like, you just know, yeah, that's because of the endless going to Astral School. Then there was a teaching of actually how to, for some social situations related to Earth missions. So like, when you have an assignment with a human that's like this, how do you handle it? When this situation happens, how do you handle it? A lot of like physical mission on Earth, but a lot of as well astral mission. I feel like you're always learning. So you go to school, you learn stuff. It's like, say, learning about how to use the purple flame, for example. And you go to Astral School and you learn the purple flame, but even after you graduate, you're still mastering the purple flame. So the school gets you in it. It teaches you the basics. It teaches you how to do it and gets you in the line of mastery. And then you graduate, and then you go about your journey, mastering it even more as you go. So that's why I'm saying, don't expect you to be perfect. Even you are mastering it as you keep going. Astral School is going to be a very big help for all of you. It helped me a lot in my journey, and I hope you guys use it to help you in your journey as well.